My child, do not delay another moment. I need you to respond now, because something must begin today. This is not a call born from pressure or fear, but from love and purpose. There are seasons when I ask you to wait, to be still, to trust my timing. But there are also moments when waiting becomes hesitation, and hesitation keeps you standing at the edge of what I have already prepared. Today is not a day to stand still in uncertainty. Today is the beginning of something I have been arranging long before you realized it was possible. You did not arrive at this message by accident. Out of countless distractions, your attention was drawn here, and that was no coincidence. I know exactly where you are. I know the conversations you have had only within your own heart. I know the dreams you have nearly given up on because they seem too delayed. I know the silent prayers that ended with the question, Lord, when will something finally change? Beloved, I have heard every one of them, and I have not forgotten a single word. Perhaps you have been waiting for a sign so clear that you could not ignore it. Perhaps you have asked me for confirmation because you feared taking the wrong step. You have wondered if the doors would ever open, if the heaviness would ever lift, if the uncertainty would ever end. I have seen your caution. I have understood your fears. But I also know that deep within your spirit there is a longing to move forward, even if you have not known how. That is why I am speaking to you with urgency today. Not because I want to burden you, but because I do not want fear to keep postponing what faith is ready to begin. I have been preparing your heart through every disappointment, every delay, every unexpected turn. What felt like wasted time has been shaping you for this very moment. The strength you thought you lost has been quietly growing. The wisdom you prayed for has been forming in the hidden places of your journey. If you turn away now, you may continue believing that tomorrow will always be the better time to trust me more deeply. You may keep waiting for perfect certainty while the opportunity to take your next faithful step quietly passes by. But if you stay, if you listen with an open heart, you may begin to recognize that I have already been giving you what you need. Your courage may awaken. Your spirit may become steadier. The confusion that has surrounded your path may give way to peace, not because every answer has arrived, but because my presence will become clearer than your fears. My child, I am not asking you to carry tomorrow's burdens today. I am asking you to begin with the step I place before you now. I have gone ahead of you. I have not abandoned you. I have not forgotten the promises I planted within your heart. There is a new chapter waiting to unfold, and it cannot remain unopened forever. So remain with me. Quiet every distraction, open your heart completely, and listen closely, because what I am about to reveal is the very beginning of what I have been preparing you for all along. My child, you have reached a moment where you can no longer keep pushing aside what your heart has been trying to tell you. I have watched you carry this quiet tension inside yourself for a long time now. Outwardly, your life may still look normal to other people, but deep within you, something has been unsettled for quite a while. You feel it in those moments when the noise around you fades and your thoughts finally catch up with you. You feel it when another day passes and you realize you are exhausted in ways that sleep cannot fix. There is a reason for that. Your spirit was never created to live disconnected from the life I have been calling you toward. You keep trying to convince yourself that maybe things will eventually change on their own. You tell yourself you just need a little more time, a little more clarity, a little less fear. But if you are honest with yourself, you already know the deeper truth. The delay is no longer coming from uncertainty. It is coming from the fear of what beginning might require from you. Starting something new often means leaving behind familiar patterns, familiar excuses, and even familiar pain. And even though those things have been hurting you, part of you still clings to them because they are known territory. I understand that struggle more than you realize. I know how difficult it feels to step away from what has become emotionally familiar, even when it no longer brings peace to your soul. Still, I need you to hear me clearly. The life you keep praying for cannot grow while you continue standing still in the same emotional place that has already drained so much from you. There are habits, thoughts, and routines quietly shaping your future right now. Some of them are pulling you closer to healing, but others are keeping you trapped inside cycles that leave you feeling discouraged, distracted, and spiritually tired. You notice it more at night when everything slows down. You notice how hard it has become to feel fully present, fully hopeful, fully alive. That heaviness did not appear overnight. It grew little by little through all the moments where fear convinced you to postpone the changes your heart already knew were necessary. I am not speaking to you this way because I am disappointed in you. I am speaking because I love you deeply, and I do not want you to spend another season watching your own life pass by while waiting for courage to arrive before you move. Courage rarely comes first, my child. Most of the time, courage grows after the first step is taken. You keep imagining that one day you will suddenly wake up fearless, completely certain, completely ready. But that day does not arrive through waiting alone. It begins through trust. It begins when you finally decide that staying where you are has become more painful than moving forward into the unknown with me beside you. I know you are tired of carrying confusion, tired of overthinking every decision, tired of feeling like something inside you has been asleep for too long. That is why I am asking you to act now. Not recklessly, not perfectly, just honestly. Be honest about what needs to change. Be honest about what keeps stealing your peace. Be honest about the ways fear has been controlling your choices. Because the beginning you have been waiting for is not hiding somewhere far away in the future. It starts inside the small decision to stop avoiding the truth about what your soul truly needs. And once you take that step, you will begin to understand that I was never asking you to walk alone. My child, stop waiting for the perfect moment before you begin changing your life. I need you to understand how much time you have lost trying to feel completely ready before taking action. You keep looking for certainty in every direction, hoping that fear will disappear first, hoping that confidence will suddenly arrive and make everything feel simple. But you were never meant to live trapped inside endless hesitation. You have spent too many nights replaying the same thoughts, carrying the same worries, and standing at the edge of decisions that your heart already knows you must make. I see how exhausting that has become for you. It drains your energy quietly. It steals your peace little by little until even small decisions begin to feel heavy. Come closer to me for a moment and listen carefully. You are not stuck because you are incapable. You are stuck because fear has convinced you that beginning imperfectly is worse than remaining where you are. Yet remaining where you are has already been hurting you for far too long. You feel it every time another week passes and nothing inside you changes. You feel it when you wake up carrying the same emotional weight that followed you to sleep the night before. There is a reason your spirit keeps feeling restless. Deep within you, there is a part of you that is tired of surviving on delay after delay. Your soul is asking for movement. Your heart is asking for honesty. And I am asking you now to stop pushing away what you already know must begin. I know why you hesitate. You remember the disappointment of things that did not work out before. You remember how painful it felt when certain doors closed in your life after you gave them your hope. Some wounds inside you still whisper that trying again could lead to more heartbreak. But do not let old pain become the ruler of your future. What happened before was not meant to convince you to stop living. It was meant to teach you wisdom without stealing your ability to trust me again. Open your heart to that truth. Breathe for a moment and let it settle inside you. The fear you carry is loud, but it is not greater than the future I am trying to lead you toward. I need you to act now because delay has become too comfortable in your life. You keep calling it caution, but many times it is simply fear wearing a quieter voice. Be honest about that. Sit with that truth instead of running from it. Then make a decision. Send the message. Start the conversation. Change the routine. Step away from the environment that keeps draining your spirit. Stop telling yourself you will begin next month, while your heart continues growing weary in the present moment. I am not asking you to transform your entire life overnight. I am asking you to move. Once you take one honest step, you will begin to feel something inside you wake up again. Peace often meets you on the road of obedience, not before it. My child, there are things in your life that you already know are slowly stealing your peace, yet you continue allowing them to remain close to your heart. I say this to you with love, not judgment. You have learned how to tolerate certain patterns simply because they became familiar to you. Some of them entered your life quietly. A habit here, a compromise there, a constant distraction that seemed harmless at first. But now you feel the weight of it. You notice how difficult it has become to feel fully rested inside your spirit. Even when you smile, there are moments where your heart still feels heavy underneath it all. I see that heaviness clearly, even when nobody else notices it. I need you to stop ignoring the connection between your exhaustion and the things you keep feeding every day. There are voices around you shaping your thoughts more than you realize. There are environments pulling you farther away from peace while convincing you that nothing is wrong. Pay attention to how your soul feels after certain conversations. Pay attention to how your mind feels after spending hours filling it with noise that leaves you emptier instead of stronger. You cannot continue pouring your energy into things that weaken your spirit while asking me why you feel disconnected, restless, or emotionally drained. Your heart was not created to carry constant confusion. Come sit with me in honesty for a moment. You already know what needs to change. Deep inside, you have sensed it for a long time. There are routines that leave you spiritually numb. There are places you return to that reopen wounds I have been trying to heal inside you. There are people whose presence keeps pulling you backward into insecurity, fear, or unhealthy thinking. Yet part of you keeps holding on because letting go feels uncomfortable. I understand that struggle. Sometimes people cling to familiar pain simply because they fear the unknown, the healing requires. But I need you to trust me enough to release what no longer belongs in your life. Do not delay this any longer. Protect your peace with intention. Guard your mind carefully. Stop giving endless access to things that leave your spirit anxious, discouraged, or emotionally exhausted. Invite me into the quiet places of your life where nobody else sees the battle happening. Let me guide you gently, honestly, and clearly. You do not need to fix everything in one day, but you do need to stop pretending that nothing is wrong. Healing begins when you finally stop negotiating with the very things that are keeping your soul tired. Choose differently now. Even one honest decision can begin shifting the atmosphere inside your life in ways you cannot yet fully see. My child, you have carried disappointment for so long that part of you has started expecting life to let you down before anything even begins. I see how quickly your mind prepares for failure now. Before you take a step, before you open your heart, before you try again, there is already a quiet voice inside you warning you not to hope too much. That voice did not appear overnight. It was built slowly through moments that hurt you deeply. Promises were broken. People walked away. Doors closed after you prayed for them to open. You trusted situations that collapsed in your hands like sand slipping through your fingers. After enough pain, your heart learned how to protect itself by expecting less from life. But listen to me carefully now. You cannot build a meaningful future while constantly preparing yourself for disappointment before anything even happens. Come closer and let me speak honestly to the places inside you that still ache. I know you became tired of rebuilding yourself after every setback. I know there were moments where you quietly wondered whether trying again was even worth it anymore. Some losses drained more from you than other people ever realized. You kept functioning, kept smiling, kept carrying responsibilities, but inside yourself there were pieces of hope growing weak from exhaustion. You started calling your fear being realistic, but deep down you know there is a difference between wisdom and hopelessness. I do not want you to live with your spirit permanently guarded against joy because of what happened yesterday. Open your hands for a moment. Breathe deeply and stop gripping old disappointment so tightly. Not every future moment will repeat your past. Not every person will wound you. Not every opportunity will collapse. You have allowed old heartbreaks to become filters through which you now see your entire life. That is why even good things sometimes feel difficult for you to trust. But I am asking you now to stop expecting darkness every time light begins to appear. Invite me into those wounded places where fear keeps whispering that nothing good lasts. Let me heal the parts of you that became cold after too many disappointments. I need you to act differently now. Speak differently to yourself. Stop rehearsing failure in your thoughts before life even unfolds. Stop convincing yourself that peace belongs to other people while you remain trapped in endless struggle. Your future cannot flourish while your mind keeps returning to old pain like a bird circling the same storm. Lift your eyes. Look beyond what hurt you. Let yourself believe again, even if your faith feels small right now. You do not need loud confidence to begin healing. You only need willingness. Take the next step with me. Let your heart soften again instead of hiding behind emotional walls that are slowly suffocating your joy. The life ahead of you needs a healed heart, not just a guarded one. My child, as you begin releasing the fear that every door will close before it even opens, I am calling you to become part of something greater than your own healing. This message is reaching weary hearts across the world like oil poured into empty lamps, and through your obedience, more souls will hear the hope I am speaking today. Have I not told you, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The seed you place into this mission today will become light for someone standing in darkness, strength for someone ready to give up, and living water for hearts that have forgotten how to hope again. Do not ignore this moment, because I am stirring generous hearts right now to help carry my word farther than they can currently see. If this message has touched your spirit, then do not remain still while heaven is asking you to act. Support this work through Super Thanks, become a member, or send your offering through PayPal using the link in the video description, and trust me to multiply what you release with faith. So now, my child, and let your obedience become part of the healing harvest I am bringing to countless lives. My child, I need you to stop running from silence. You keep surrounding yourself with noise because deep down you are afraid of what might surface when everything becomes quiet. I see how often you distract yourself the moment uncomfortable thoughts begin rising inside you. You reach for your phone, for conversations, for endless scrolling, for anything that keeps your mind occupied long enough to avoid sitting with your own heart. But your soul has been trying to speak to you through those quiet moments, and you keep drowning it out with noise that leaves you emptier afterward. Sit with me for a moment without rushing away. Let the silence breathe around you instead of fighting it. The reason stillness feels uncomfortable is because there are emotions inside you that have gone unattended for too long. There are wounds you buried beneath busy schedules and forced smiles. There are fears you never fully admitted even to yourself. You learned how to stay occupied because slowing down forced you to feel things you did not know how to handle. But avoiding your inner world has not healed it. It has only delayed the healing your heart desperately needs. I know there are nights when your mind feels loud the moment your surroundings become quiet. The thoughts start racing. Regrets resurface. Questions about your future begin pressing heavily against your spirit. In those moments, you often feel alone with your worries. But you are not alone there. I am with you even in the silence you keep trying to escape. I am present in the still moments where your heart finally stops pretending. That is why I need you to stop fearing quiet places. Some of the deepest healing I will ever do inside you will happen there. Come sit with your thoughts honestly instead of running from them. Let yourself recognize what has been exhausting your spirit. Pay attention to the sadness beneath your distractions. Listen carefully to the needs your soul has been trying to communicate. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. And you cannot hear my direction clearly while your life stays filled with constant noise from morning until night. Create space for me again. Put down the distractions for a little while and let your heart breathe. Do not misunderstand me, my child. I am not asking you to isolate yourself from life. I'm asking you to reconnect with yourself honestly and reconnect with me deeply. There is wisdom waiting for you in stillness. There is clarity waiting beneath all the mental clutter you keep carrying. Your heart does not need more noise right now. It needs peace. It needs truth. It needs rest. Let silence become a doorway instead of a fear. Once you stop running from what is inside you, healing will finally have room to begin growing where exhaustion once lived. My child, I need you to stop speaking to yourself as if you are already defeated. I hear the quiet words you say inside your mind when nobody else is around. I see the way you replay your failures more than your growth. You have become so accustomed to criticizing yourself that you barely notice how deeply those thoughts are shaping your spirit. There are moments when you look at your life and immediately focus on everything that has not happened yet, everything that went wrong, everything you wish you had done differently. Slowly, without realizing it, you began building an identity around disappointment instead of around the person I created you to become. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and listen carefully. You are not helping yourself by constantly speaking death over your own future. The human heart absorbs the words repeated to it day after day. That is why your spirit feels tired after years of carrying thoughts filled with shame, fear, and self-condemnation. You keep expecting peace while feeding your mind constant reminders of your worst moments. You keep asking for confidence while rehearsing every weakness you can find inside yourself. My child, that pattern is draining the life from you quietly. It is like carrying heavy stones in your pockets while wondering why walking feels so difficult. I know where those thoughts came from. Some were planted by painful experiences. Some came from careless words spoken over you long ago. Others grew during seasons where you felt abandoned, overlooked, or not enough. You started believing that your mistakes were the truest thing about you. But I need you to release that lie now. Do not keep chaining yourself to an old version of your life that I am already trying to heal. Open your hands and let that weight go. Speak to yourself with honesty, yes, but also with mercy. You are still growing. You are still learning. Your story is not finished because you stumbled in difficult seasons. Pay attention to the atmosphere you create inside your own mind. The thoughts you repeat become the environment your soul lives in every day. If your inner world stays filled with hopelessness, fear, and criticism, your spirit will eventually feel trapped there. That is why I am inviting you now to change the way you speak over your life. Stop introducing yourself to your future through the language of defeat. Stop calling yourself broken beyond repair. Stop assuming you are too late, too weak, or too damaged for meaningful change. Instead, begin speaking with expectation again. Tell yourself healing is possible. Tell yourself growth can still happen. Tell yourself your future does not have to mirror your past forever. Even if those words feel unfamiliar at first, keep opening your heart to them. The voice inside your mind should not become another enemy you must survive each day. Let your inner world become a place where hope has room to breathe again. Invite me into your thoughts. Let me teach you how to see yourself through eyes that are patient, compassionate, and filled with purpose instead of constant disappointment. My child, there are moments when you say you want change, but then you return to the exact environments that keep reopening the wounds you are asking me to heal. I say this gently because I know how difficult it can be to let go of what feels familiar. Human hearts often cling to what they know, even when it hurts them. But I need you to recognize something honestly now. Familiarity is not always safety. Some places, conversations, and relationships have kept your spirit trapped in cycles that leave you emotionally exhausted long after the moment passes. Think carefully about how certain environments affect you. There are rooms where your peace disappears the moment you enter them. There are conversations that leave you questioning your worth for hours afterward. There are people whose words slowly drain your confidence while disguising themselves as concern or honesty. You keep hoping those situations will eventually feel different, but your soul already recognizes the truth each time you walk away feeling smaller, heavier, and emotionally tired. Stop ignoring what your spirit hath been trying to show you. Come closer and hear me clearly. You do not have to remain available for everything that damages your peace. I am giving you permission to create distance where distance is necessary. That does not mean becoming cold, cruel, or prideful. It means finally respecting the condition of your own heart. Some of your deepest exhaustion comes from constantly returning to environments that pull you away from clarity, healing, and emotional stability. You keep praying for peace while surrounding yourself with chaos that keeps tearing open old wounds. I know part of you fears disappointing people. You worry that setting boundaries will make others upset, uncomfortable, or distant from you. But listen to me carefully now. Your healing matters too. Your peace matters too. Stop sacrificing your emotional well-being just to avoid difficult conversations. Stop staying in places that repeatedly crush your spirit while pretending everything is fine. You were not created to spend your life surviving emotional storms that could have been avoided through wisdom and honesty. Take a step back and pay attention to what grows inside you after certain interactions. Does your spirit feel calm, strengthened, and clear? Or does anxiety tighten around your thoughts afterward like chains pulling at your chest? Your body and spirit often recognize danger long before your mind fully admits it. That is why I am asking you now to stop overriding those signals simply because you fear change. Choose environments that allow your heart to heal. Choose conversations that bring truth without destroying your peace. Choose people who encourage growth instead of feeding insecurity. You cannot continue planting yourself in unhealthy soil while expecting your spirit to flourish. Some distance is necessary for healing to finally begin breathing inside your life again. Trust me enough to step away from what keeps harming your heart. My child, I need you to stop measuring your worth by how quickly other people seem to succeed. You have spent too much time looking at someone else's journey while quietly feeling disappointed with your own. I see the thoughts that pass through your mind when you watch other people move forward in areas where you still feel stuck. Sometimes you celebrate them outwardly while inwardly wondering why your own life feels slower, heavier, or unfinished. You compare your beginning to someone else's middle, and then punish yourself for not standing where they stand. That comparison has been exhausting your spirit more than you realize. Come closer and let me speak gently to the insecurity you keep hiding behind your smile. Your life was never designed to unfold exactly like anyone else's. I created you with a different story, different timing, different lessons, and different assignments for your soul. Yet you keep watching other people's progress as if their timeline should determine your value. Every time you do that, you slowly disconnect yourself from the work I am trying to do within your own life. You stop paying attention to your healing because you become distracted by someone else's visible success. You overlook your growth because you keep staring at what has not happened yet. I know there are moments when you feel left behind. You see others building relationships, careers, opportunities, and stability while you are still trying to gather strength after difficult seasons. Part of you wonders if you missed your chance somewhere along the way. But listen carefully now. Delay is not always denial. Some things in your life require deeper preparation because your future carries weight you do not fully understand yet. I needed to strengthen parts of you privately before certain doors could safely open. If some blessings had arrived too early, they would have crushed you instead of helping you. Stop rushing your healing just because you are afraid of falling behind. Stop treating your life like a race where your worth depends on how quickly everything happens. Sit with me for a moment and notice how far you have already come. There were seasons where you barely thought you would survive emotionally, yet here you are still breathing, still hoping, still searching for peace. That matters more than you realize. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it happens quietly inside decisions nobody else sees. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace instead of chaos. Sometimes it looks like learning how to rest without guilt. Sometimes it looks like surviving a painful year without losing your heart completely. Lift your eyes away from comparison now. Stop scrolling through other people's lives while forgetting to care for your own spirit. Invite gratitude back into your heart. Pay attention to the small ways healing is already unfolding inside you. Your story is not behind schedule. Your life is not forgotten. Trust my timing even when it feels slower than you hoped. I am not rushing your future because I care more about your foundation than appearances. Let yourself grow steadily instead of desperately trying to keep pace with people whose journey was never meant to mirror yours. My child, stop believing your story is small simply because your journey has taken longer than others. Even now, I am using your life to help lift weary souls who feel forgotten, delayed, and unseen, just as you once felt. Every act of generosity toward this mission becomes another flame burning in places where hopelessness tried to spread darkness. Did I not say that those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy? What you release today through super thanks, membership, or PayPal is not merely money in my eyes. It is seed placed into fertile ground where broken hearts are being restored by my voice. I am calling those who truly feel this message in their spirit to stop scrolling past their assignment and step into obedience. The PayPal link has been placed in the video description for this very moment, because I knew certain hearts would feel me urging them to help carry this word farther. As you give, I will breathe favor over your journey, strengthen your foundation, and pour peace into areas where comparison once stole your joy. Act now, my child, because your seed is connected to souls you may never meet this side of eternity. My child, I need you to stop carrying every burden as though everything depends entirely on you. I watch you exhaust yourself trying to control outcomes that were never yours to manage alone. Your mind stays busy from morning until night, constantly calculating possibilities, replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow, and trying to solve problems before they even arrive. You have become so used to carrying pressure that you barely remember what it feels like to truly rest inside yourself. Even when your body slows down, your thoughts keep racing like a storm that refuses to settle. Come sit with me honestly for a moment. You were never created to hold the entire weight of your future on your own shoulders. Yet that is exactly what you keep trying to do. You tell yourself that if you think hard enough, prepare enough, or worry enough, maybe you can protect yourself from pain, failure, or uncertainty. But all that constant pressure is draining your spirit. Anxiety has slowly convinced you that carrying heavy emotional weight somehow keeps you safe. In reality, it is stealing your peace day after day like water leaking from a cracked vessel. I know why you struggle to let go. There were seasons where you felt unsupported, unseen, or forced to handle difficult situations without much help. You learned how to survive by staying alert all the time. Your mind became trained to expect problems around every corner. Even now, when quiet moments appear, part of you still waits for something bad to happen. That kind of emotional exhaustion does not disappear overnight. But I need you to stop treating fear like wisdom. Constant worry does not prepare your soul for life. It only keeps your heart trapped in tension that slowly wears you down. Take a deep breath now and loosen your grip on everything you keep trying to carry alone. You do not need to have every answer today. You do not need to solve your entire future before tomorrow arrives. Some things will only become clear while you are walking forward with me step by step. Stop demanding certainty before obedience. Stop refusing peace until every outcome feels guaranteed. That kind of control will always leave your spirit exhausted because life was never designed to function that way. Bring your fears to me honestly instead of carrying them in silence. Speak openly about what scares you. Let yourself admit where you feel weak, uncertain, or overwhelmed. There is no shame in needing help. There is no weakness in surrender. In fact, some of the strongest moments in your life will begin when you finally stop pretending you can carry everything alone. Let me hold the pressure you were never meant to bear. Rest your mind for a while. Release the endless striving. Peace cannot grow inside a heart that refuses to loosen its grip on fear. My child, I need you to stop treating your healing like something that can wait forever. You keep telling yourself you will deal with your heart later, after life becomes less busy, after circumstances improve, after you feel stronger. But the pain you ignore today does not simply disappear with time. Unhealed wounds have a way of quietly shaping your thoughts, your relationships, your decisions, and even the way you see yourself. I watch you trying to move forward while carrying old heartbreaks hidden beneath the surface, and I see how heavy that has become for you. You have learned how to function while wounded, but functioning is not the same as healing. Come closer and let yourself breathe honestly for a moment. There are still places inside you that ache every time certain memories return. There are conversations you replay in your mind, moments you wish had ended differently, people whose words cut deeper than you ever admitted out loud. Some of those wounds made you question your worth. Others made you afraid to trust again. Instead of facing the pain directly, you became skilled at distracting yourself from it. You stayed busy. You stayed strong for everyone else. You convinced yourself that silence meant healing. But silence alone cannot restore a wounded soul. I am inviting you now to stop running from what hurts. Sit with me inside the places you keep hiding from yourself. Let the tears come if they need to come. Let your heart admit where it still feels broken, angry, disappointed, or afraid. Do not rush yourself through the process just because you are uncomfortable with vulnerability. Healing requires honesty. You cannot heal wounds you refuse to uncover. And you do not need to feel ashamed for still hurting from things that deeply affected you. Your pain matters to me even when other people dismissed it. I know part of you fears that facing your emotions will overwhelm you. That is why you keep pushing everything down and pretending you are fine. But buried pain does not disappear. It waits beneath the surface and slowly influences the way you live. It turns into distance, anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and fear without you even realizing where those feelings began. My child, I do not want your future controlled by wounds from seasons that should no longer define you. Open your heart to healing now instead of carrying the same chains year after year. Take my hand and begin the process honestly. Speak about what hurt you. Release the pressure to appear strong all the time. Give yourself permission to rest emotionally instead of constantly surviving. You are not weak because you need healing. You are human. Some of the strongest people carry invisible scars nobody else ever sees. But strength is not pretending those scars do not exist. Strength is finally allowing light to enter the places that stayed hidden too long. Let me bring peace into those wounded places. Stop delaying the healing your soul has been crying out for. My child, I need you to stop abandoning yourself just to keep other people comfortable. You have spent so much time trying to avoid disappointing others that you slowly started betraying your own peace in the process. I see how often you silence your real feelings to maintain harmony. I see the moments when you say yes even though your heart is exhausted and desperately needs rest. You have become so accustomed to carrying everyone else's expectations that you barely notice how drained your spirit feels afterward. Deep down, there is a quiet sadness growing inside you because you keep giving pieces of yourself away while neglecting your own emotional well-being. Come sit with me honestly and listen carefully now. Being kind does not mean constantly sacrificing your peace until there is nothing left inside you. You were not created to live emotionally depleted just because you are afraid of upsetting people. Yet that fear has controlled many of your decisions. You tolerate disrespect longer than you should. You remain available even when your heart is overwhelmed. You ignore your own limits because guilt whispers that caring for yourself somehow makes you selfish. But my child, caring for your soul is not selfishness. It is wisdom. I know where this pattern came from. You learned early that being needed made you feel valuable. You became the dependable one, the understanding one, the strong one. Over time, you built your identity around taking care of everyone else's emotions while quietly neglecting your own. But eventually the weight became too heavy. That is why your spirit feels tired in ways you struggle to explain. You keep pouring from an empty place while wondering why joy feels harder to access than it used to. Your heart was never designed to survive on constant emotional depletion. I need you now to begin respecting your own limits. Stop apologizing every time you choose rest. Stop feeling guilty for needing space to breathe. Pay attention to the moments where your spirit feels overwhelmed and respond with honesty instead of self-neglect. Some conversations require boundaries. Some people require distance. Some expectations were never yours to carry in the first place. Listen carefully to your exhaustion because it is trying to tell you something important. Invite me into the guilt you feel whenever you prioritize your peace. Let me teach you that healthy love does not require the destruction of your own well-being. You can care deeply about others without abandoning yourself completely. Speak honestly when your heart needs rest. Step back when your spirit feels overwhelmed. Create room in your life for quiet, restoration, and healing. You do not need to earn your worth by constantly overextending yourself for everyone around you. Your value was never dependent on how much exhaustion you were willing to endure. My child, I need you to stop believing that one mistake has permanently ruined your future. You carry certain regrets as though they became chains attached to your soul, and every time you think about those moments, shame begins speaking louder than hope. I see how you revisit old failures in your mind. You replay conversations you wish had gone differently. You think about opportunities you lost, choices you regret, and seasons where you feel you disappointed yourself, other people, and even me. Some of those memories still sit heavily on your heart like stones that never move. But listen to me carefully now. Your worst moment was never meant to become your permanent identity. Come sit with me honestly, and stop hiding behind shame. I know exactly what happened in your life. Nothing about your story surprises me. I saw your confusion during those seasons. I saw your fear, your exhaustion, your loneliness, and the pressure that clouded your judgment. I am not excusing harmful choices, but I am asking you to stop speaking about yourself as though redemption no longer belongs to you. The enemy wants you trapped in constant self-condemnation because shame keeps people frozen. Shame convinces you there is no point trying again. Shame tells you that growth belongs to everyone except you. But that voice is not coming from me. I need you now to release the idea that your future must always pay for your past. You cannot keep dragging old mistakes into every new opportunity like a shadow following your every step. Healing cannot flourish inside a heart constantly rehearsing self-hatred. You have apologized. You have grieved. You have carried guilt long enough. At some point, you must allow yourself to move forward instead of endlessly punishing yourself for what cannot be changed anymore. Open your hands and stop gripping regret so tightly. Let yourself breathe again. You keep asking me for peace while secretly believing you do not deserve it. You ask for new beginnings while still introducing yourself to life through the language of your failures. My child, come out of that prison now. Speak honestly about your mistakes, yes, but also recognize that broken seasons do not disqualify you from purpose. Some of the deepest wisdom inside you was born through pain, failure, and lessons you never wanted to learn the hard way. Do not waste those lessons by remaining trapped in shame forever. Stand up now and stop calling yourself ruined. Stop treating your life as though hope expired the moment you stumbled. Your future still holds meaning. Your heart can still heal. Your life can still become beautiful in ways you cannot fully imagine yet. Let me rebuild the places inside you that shame has tried to destroy. Walk forward with humility, honesty, and trust instead of endless self-condemnation. The story is not over, my child. Do not bury yourself inside chapters that I never intended to be the ending. My child, now that you are loosening your grip on shame and stepping out of the prison of your past, I want you to understand something deeply. Your redemption is meant to become a doorway for others. There are wounded people listening right now who believe their mistakes disqualified them forever, and through this mission, I am reaching for them with mercy that still restores broken lives. Remember my words, though your sins be scarlet, they shall be white as snow. When you support this work through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal in the video description, you are helping carry living water into deserts where souls have nearly stopped believing they can heal. Do not treat this as a small moment, because heaven sees every seed placed into the spreading of my word. Some give from abundance, others from sacrifice, but I honor the obedience behind both. As you release your offering, I will also release fresh strength, renewed peace, and unexpected provision into places where shame once tried to keep you trapped. Step forward now, my child, and let your giving become proof that your story is no longer ruled by regret but by redemption. My child, I need you to stop fearing change as though every new season must automatically lead to loss. I know why transitions make you nervous. There were times in your life when change arrived painfully. Weight have shifted unexpectedly. Stability disappeared. Plans collapsed without warning. After enough painful experiences, part of you began associating change with heartbreak instead of growth. Now even necessary change can feel frightening because your mind immediately prepares for disappointment before anything even begins. But listen carefully to me now. Not every ending is punishment. Some endings are invitations into a healthier future. Come closer and let yourself acknowledge what you already feel deep within your spirit. Certain parts of your life cannot remain the same forever. You already sense that. There are habits you have outgrown. There are environments your soul no longer fits inside comfortably. There are conversations, routines, and mindsets that once felt familiar but now leave your spirit restless afterward. Yet you keep clinging to them because at least they are predictable. Familiar pain can sometimes feel safer than unfamiliar healing. I understand that struggle deeply, but I need you to trust me enough to stop building your life around fear of the unknown. Open your heart now and pay attention to what your spirit has been trying to tell you for months. You are standing at the edge of a new chapter, but your fear keeps pulling your attention backward toward what feels comfortable. You keep asking for peace while resisting the very changes that could lead you there. Growth will require movement from you. It will require honesty. It will require letting go of certain things you once thought you needed forever. Do not mistake that process for abandonment. I am not removing things from your life to harm you. I am preparing room for healthier ground to grow beneath your feet. I know transitions can feel lonely at first. There are moments during change where clarity has not fully arrived yet, and uncertainty feels uncomfortable. But do not run back to unhealthy situations simply because healing feels unfamiliar. Stay with me through the discomfort. Let yourself grow through it instead of escaping from it. Some of the greatest transformations in your life will begin quietly while you are learning to trust me inside uncertain seasons. Take a deep breath now and loosen your grip on what no longer serves your soul well. Stop resisting every change as though your future depends on preserving the past exactly as it was. Invite me into the uncertainty instead of shutting down emotionally every time life begins shifting around you. There are blessings waiting for you in places fear has convinced you to avoid. Walk forward anyway. Trust me through the unfamiliar territory. Your next chapter does not need to look exactly like your last one in order to become something beautiful. My child, I need you to stop waiting for motivation before you choose discipline. You have spent too much time depending on feelings to decide whether you move forward, and that has left your life inconsistent in ways that quietly frustrate you. Some days you feel inspired and full of hope, but other days exhaustion, doubt, or distraction pull you backward again. Then you sit there wondering why change feels so far away even though your heart genuinely wants something different. Listen to me carefully now. Lasting transformation is not built on temporary emotion. It is built through small decisions repeated faithfully even when feelings shift like waves in the wind. Come closer and be honest with yourself for a moment. You already know some of the habits that are weakening your spirit. You know the routines that leave you feeling empty afterward. You know the distractions stealing hours from your life while your deeper goals remain untouched. Yet every time discomfort appears, you convince yourself you will start again tomorrow. That pattern has become exhausting for you. Your spirit is tired of endless beginnings that never become consistent movement. You crave peace, stability, and growth, but your daily choices keep pulling you in different directions like a boat tossed by restless water. I am not speaking to condemn you. I am speaking because I want more for your life than constant cycles of frustration and delay. Stop waiting for perfect emotional conditions before you commit to what your soul already knows it needs. Some mornings you will not feel motivated to pray, heal, create, rest properly, or make wise decisions. Do it anyway. Some days your mind will try to pull you back toward old habits because familiarity feels easier than growth. Stand up anyway. Real growth often happens quietly in ordinary moments when nobody else sees the internal battle taking place. I know discipline feels difficult because part of you still wants comfort without change. Human hearts naturally resist discomfort. But hear me clearly now. Short-term comfort can quietly steal long-term peace. Every unhealthy habit you continue feeding grows stronger with repetition. Every healthy choice you continue avoiding becomes harder to embrace later. It is why I am asking you now to stop negotiating with the very things keeping your life stagnant. Set boundaries. Create strategy. Protect your time. Guard your attention carefully because your future is being shaped through the small daily decisions you think do not matter. Take my hand and begin again with consistency instead of emotional extremes. Do not chase dramatic overnight transformation while ignoring the quiet power of faithful daily action. Your life can change more than you realize if you stop abandoning the process every time progress feels slow. Stay committed even when growth feels invisible at first. Seeds grow beneath the soil long before anyone sees green leaves pushing upward. Trust the process I am leading you through. Keep walking. Keep choosing wisely. Your future is being built one decision at a time. My child, I need you to stop believing that your value disappears whenever you feel weak. You have spent so much of your life trying to appear strong that you became afraid of your own vulnerability. Whenever exhaustion hits you emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, part of you immediately starts criticizing yourself. You feel guilty for struggling. You feel ashamed for needing rest. Sometimes you even question your worth because you are not handling everything perfectly. But listen carefully to me now. Your humanity does not disappoint me. I never expected you to carry life without ever feeling overwhelmed. Come sit with me honestly and release the pressure to constantly perform strength for the world around you. I know there are moments where you feel emotionally fragile beneath the surface. I see the tears you hold back. I see how tired your heart becomes after carrying responsibility after responsibility without allowing yourself room to breathe. You keep acting as though needing support somehow makes you weak, but that belief has only pushed you deeper into loneliness. You were never created to survive life by pretending your pain does not exist. I understand why vulnerability scares you. There were times when people mishandled your honesty. You opened your heart and felt misunderstood, ignored, or judged afterward. Experiences like that taught you to protect yourself emotionally. So now you keep your struggles hidden while quietly carrying burdens heavier than anyone realizes. But hiding your pain does not heal it. It only isolates you further. My child, stop treating your heart like a battlefield that must always remain guarded. Invite me into the places where you feel weakest instead of hiding there in silence. You do not need to impress me with endless strength. Bring me your exhaustion. Bring me your confusion. Bring me the parts of your life that feel messy and uncertain and unfinished. I am not asking you to arrive perfectly healed before you come closer to me. I want honesty from you, not performance. There is deep healing that begins when you stop pretending everything is fine and finally allow yourself to be seen fully. Pay attention to how harshly you speak to yourself during difficult moments. You offer grace to other people when they struggle, but you deny that same compassion to yourself. That pattern needs to change. Speak gently to your own heart while you heal. Rest when your spirit needs rest. Ask for help when the weight becomes too heavy. There is no honor in destroying yourself while trying to prove you can handle everything alone. Strength is not the absence of weakness. Real strength grows through honesty, humility, and the willingness to keep moving forward even when your heart feels tired. Let yourself be human, my child. I am still walking beside you through every fragile moment. My child, I need you to stop believing that your life has become too complicated for things to ever improve again. I know there are moments when you look around and feel overwhelmed by everything still unfinished. Some problems have lingered so long that they now feel permanent to you. Certain prayers seem unanswered. Certain situations feel tangled beyond repair. You carry responsibilities that exhaust your mind before the day even begins. Then fear quietly whispers that nothing will truly change and that this heavy season is simply what your life will always feel like. But I need you to hear me clearly now. Do not mistake a difficult chapter for the final ending of your story. Come sit with me for a moment and let your heart breathe instead of racing ahead into fear. You have been trying to solve everything at once, and it has left your spirit weary in ways nobody else fully understands. Your thoughts move fast, your worries pile high, and your heart feels stretched thin between responsibilities, uncertainty, and emotional exhaustion. I see it all. I see the pressure you carry when nobody is watching. I see the silent panic that sometimes rises when you think about the future. Yet even in the middle of all that heaviness, I am asking you now to slow down and stop predicting disaster before tomorrow even arrives. Not everything needs to be solved today, my child. Some burdens are becoming heavier simply because you keep carrying tomorrow's fears into today's strength. You stare at the entire mountain and immediately feel defeated before taking a single step. But healing, clarity, restoration, and growth often happen one small step at a time. I never asked you to carry the entire future on your back. I asked you to walk with me through the present moment faithfully. There is a difference. When you try to control every outcome at once, anxiety grows like wildfire through dry grass. But when you allow yourself to focus on one faithful step at a time, peace finally has room to enter your heart again. I need you to release the belief that you are trapped forever inside this current season. Difficult moments can make time feel endless. Pain has a way of convincing people that things will never change. But seasons shift more quietly than most people realize. Sometimes change begins underground long before visible results appear. Just because you cannot yet see movement does not mean I am absent from your life. There are things unfolding behind the scenes that your eyes cannot fully recognize yet. Take a breath now and loosen your grip on hopelessness. Stop speaking as though your future has already been ruined. Stop assuming your best days belong only to your past. Invite me into the chaos instead of shutting down emotionally beneath the pressure. Let me guide you step by step instead of demanding instant answers for everything at once. Your life is not beyond restoration. Your heart is not beyond healing. And your future is not as hopeless as fear keeps trying to convince you it is. Stay close to me and keep walking forward. Light still reaches places that once felt completely dark. My child, as you stop believing your future is trapped inside this difficult season, I am inviting you to help bring hope to others standing beneath the same heavy clouds. There are people listening whose hearts are exhausted, whose minds are overwhelmed, and whose faith is hanging by a thread, and this message is becoming manna for them in the wilderness. I told you that even faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. And today I am asking you to sow that seed through your support of this mission. Every super thanks, every membership, every PayPal gift through the link in the description becomes another river flowing into dry places where despair once ruled. Do not overlook the urgency of this moment, because I am opening doors for my word to travel farther, faster, and deeper into hurting hearts. As you give, I will strengthen your hands for the battles ahead and place peace over the areas that fear has been attacking relentlessly. Refuse to let hopelessness silence your obedience when heaven is calling you to participate in something eternal. Act now, my child, and help carry this light into lives still waiting for dawn to break. My child, I need you to stop ignoring how deeply your environment affects your spirit. You keep trying to heal while remaining surrounded by constant noise, negativity, distraction, and emotional clutter. Then you wonder why peace feels difficult to hold on to for long. Listen carefully to me now. Your soul absorbs more than you realize. The atmosphere around you shapes your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, and even the way you begin seeing yourself over time. That is why some places leave you calm while others leave you feeling emotionally drained before you even understand why. Come closer and pay attention to what your spirit has been trying to tell you. There are environments in your life that keep your mind restless. Certain conversations fill your heart with anxiety instead of peace. Some habits leave your spirit foggy and disconnected afterward. Yet you continue returning to those same patterns because they became normal to you. My child, normal does not always mean healthy. You have adapted to emotional chaos in ways that now feel familiar. But familiarity can quietly become a prison when you stop questioning whether it is helping or harming your soul. I need you now to become more intentional about what you allow into your inner world. Guard your heart carefully. Stop feeding your mind endless negativity and then expecting your spirit to remain strong. Pay attention to the voices influencing your thoughts every day. Some voices sharpen wisdom while others slowly weaken your confidence, your hope, and your peace. Open your eyes to the difference. You cannot constantly consume darkness and still expect your heart to feel light. There are small changes you need to make now. Create moments of quiet instead of filling every empty space with noise. Step away from conversations that repeatedly leave your spirit burdened. Choose environments that allow your heart room to breathe instead of constantly placing yourself inside emotional storms. Invite beauty back into your life in simple ways. Go outside. Sit in stillness. Speak words that strengthen instead of tear down. Fill your mind with things that bring clarity, truth, and peace instead of confusion and fear. I know these changes may seem small at first, but small shifts often create deep transformation over time. A garden cannot flourish if poison keeps being poured into the soil every day. In the same way, your spirit cannot fully heal while remaining constantly surrounded by things that exhaust it. Stop treating your peace casually, my child. Protect it intentionally. Your emotional and spiritual health matters more than you realize. Let your surroundings begin supporting the life you are trying to build instead of constantly pulling you backward into exhaustion. Invite me into your environment and allow peace to become something you actively nurture instead of something you keep hoping will appear on its own. My child, I need you to stop confusing distraction with peace. You have filled so much of your life with constant movement that you barely notice how disconnected your heart has become from itself. Your days move quickly. Your attention jumps from one thing to another like restless waves crashing against the shore. Even when you finally sit down to rest, your mind keeps spinning. You scroll, you search, you consume noise from morning until night, hoping it will quiet the emptiness you feel inside. But distraction cannot heal what your soul is actually starving for. It only delays the moment you finally face what has been aching beneath the surface all along. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and put down the noise. You do not need another distraction right now. You need truth. You need stillness. You need space to reconnect with the parts of yourself that have been buried beneath endless stimulation and emotional exhaustion. I see how difficult silence has become for you. The moment everything gets quiet, your thoughts rise quickly. Regrets appear. Anxiety creeps in. Questions about your future begin knocking loudly at your spirit. So you reach for more distraction because facing your own heart feels uncomfortable. But my child, avoiding yourself is slowly draining the life from you. I need you now to stop running from your inner world. There are emotions inside you that require attention, not avoidance. There are wounds trying to surface because healing cannot begin while everything stays hidden beneath noise. You cannot numb your way into peace. You cannot escape emotional exhaustion by drowning yourself in endless entertainment, endless scrolling, endless busyness. Those things may briefly distract your pain, but afterward your spirit still returns to the same empty ache. That ache is your soul asking for something deeper. Pay attention to what happens after the distractions fade away. Notice how your heart still longs for rest that reaches deeper than temporary comfort. You were not created to live constantly overstimulated while spiritually starving. Come closer to me now and let your mind breathe. Turn away from the endless noise for a while. Sit in stillness without immediately trying to escape it. Let your thoughts settle slowly like muddy water, becoming clear again. That clarity you keep searching for cannot grow inside constant mental chaos. I know slowing down feels uncomfortable at first because your mind has grown addicted to movement. But stay there anyway. Stay present. Stay honest. Let yourself feel what you have been avoiding. Invite me into the silence instead of fearing it. There is wisdom waiting for you there. There is healing waiting there too. Your spirit does not need more distraction pretending to be peace. It needs restoration. It needs truth. It needs quiet moments where your heart can finally hear my voice again without the world shouting over it. Stop feeding the noise, my child. Come back to stillness and let your soul breathe again. My child, I need you to stop shrinking yourself just to fit inside places where your spirit no longer belongs. I see how often you hold back your voice, your dreams, your growth, and even your healing because you are afraid of making other people uncomfortable. Somewhere along the way, you learned that staying small felt safer than fully stepping into the person you are becoming. You became careful with your words, careful with your hopes, careful with your gifts. You started dimming your own light in order to avoid criticism, rejection, or conflict. But listen carefully to me now. You were never created to spend your life hiding from your own potential. Come closer and hear me clearly. The reason your spirit feels restless in certain places is because you have already outgrown them emotionally and spiritually. There are environments that once fit you comfortably but now leave your soul feeling trapped and unseen. Yet you keep forcing yourself to stay small because you fear what people might think if you change. My child, growth will always make some people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from the smaller version of you. Do not let that stop you from becoming healthier, wiser, and more alive. I know you fear rejection. I know you worry that fully stepping into your calling may cause misunderstandings, distance, or criticism from others. Human hearts naturally long for acceptance. But you cannot keep sacrificing your future just to maintain approval from people who only feel comfortable when you remain limited. Some relationships were built around old versions of you that no longer reflect who you are becoming. That realization can feel painful, but it is also part of growth. Stop apologizing for healing. Stop apologizing for setting boundaries. Stop apologizing for becoming someone who values peace, truth, and emotional health more deeply than before. Stand up now and stop hiding the gifts I placed inside you. Speak with honesty. Walk with confidence. Allow yourself to pursue the things your heart keeps returning to instead of constantly dismissing them out of fear. Your dreams matter. Your growth matters. Your voice matters. Do not bury your purpose beneath endless self-doubt simply because you are afraid of standing out. A lamp was never meant to hide beneath a basket where nobody could see its light. In the same way, your life was never meant to remain trapped inside fear-driven silence. Invite me into the places where insecurity still controls your decisions. Let me strengthen the parts of you that became afraid to fully live. You do not need permission from the world to grow into the person I created you to be. Take the step. Apply for the opportunity. Speak the truth you keep swallowing. Walk away from the places demanding you remain smaller than your spirit was designed to become. Your future needs the fuller version of you, not the fearful one still hiding behind comfort and approval. My child, I need you to stop speaking about your future as though darkness will always have the final word over your life. I hear the quiet hopelessness that sometimes slips into your thoughts when you feel tired, disappointed, or emotionally worn down. There are moments when you look ahead and struggle to imagine anything truly getting better. After carrying heavy seasons for so long, part of your heart has become cautious about hope itself. You protect yourself by expecting less because disappointment hurt you deeply before. But listen carefully to me now. Hopelessness may feel familiar to you, but it is not where I want your spirit to live. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and let your heart breathe again. You have survived things that once felt impossible. There were nights where your mind felt like a battlefield and mornings where simply getting out of bed required more strength than anyone around you realized. Yet somehow, through every difficult season, you are still here. That matters more than you understand. Do not overlook the quiet resilience that carried you through storms that could have destroyed your spirit completely. The enemy keeps trying to make you forget how much strength has already grown inside you through the battles you survive. I know there are unanswered questions in your life right now. I know some situations still feel uncertain, unresolved, and emotionally exhausting. But stop deciding your entire future based only on what you currently see. Human vision is limited. Fear always wants to convince you that your current pain is permanent. It whispers that nothing will change, nothing will heal, nothing meaningful still waits ahead for you. But fear is not truth. Open your heart wider than that narrow voice. There are things unfolding for your life that you cannot fully see yet. I need you now to stop feeding hopeless thoughts every day like seeds planted into your own soul. Pay attention to the way you speak about yourself and your future. Stop saying things will never improve. Stop treating your life like a closed story when I am still writing new chapters you have not even imagined yet. Your future is not trapped inside this current season. There is still healing waiting for you. There is still purpose waiting for you. There is still joy capable of reaching your heart again even if you cannot fully feel it right now. Lift your eyes beyond the present pain, my child. Step outside for a moment and look at the sky if you need to. Remember how many nights eventually gave way to morning light. Darkness always feels endless while you are standing inside it, but even the longest night eventually breaks. Invite me into your hopelessness instead of hiding there alone. Let me breathe fresh hope into the places inside you that became tired of believing. Your life still carries meaning. Your story still carries purpose. Do not surrender your future to despair simply because this chapter has been difficult. My child, now that you are lifting your eyes beyond the darkness and choosing hope again, I am asking you not to keep this light to yourself. There are souls all over the world sitting in silent battles tonight, praying for one message, one word, one reminder that I have not forgotten them. This mission is becoming a trumpet in the night, calling weary hearts back toward hope, healing, and purpose. Did I not say, the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light? When you give through Super Thanks, become a member, or send your offering through PayPal using the link in the video description, you are helping that light reach farther into places where despair has tried to settle permanently. Do not delay what I am placing on your heart right now, because obedience opens doors that fear tries to keep shut. I will bless the hands that willingly sow into the spreading of my word, and I will cause rivers of provision, favor, and peace to flow back into their lives in ways they do not yet expect. Stand up, my child, act in faith now, and help me carry this message to the hearts still waiting for morning. My child, I need you to stop punishing yourself for not healing as quickly as you expected. You keep becoming frustrated with your own heart because certain wounds still hurt sometimes. You think you should already be stronger by now, calmer by now, more healed by now. Every time old emotions resurface, you immediately criticize yourself for struggling again. But healing is not a straight road, and your heart was never meant to recover according to a perfect schedule. Listen carefully to me now. Progress does not disappear simply because pain occasionally returns to the surface. Come closer and let yourself rest from the pressure you keep placing upon your own soul. You have been carrying invisible battles for a long time. Some wounds reach deeper than words could fully explain. Certain disappointments changed the way you saw yourself, other people, and even your future. Healing from those things takes time. Yet instead of offering yourself patience, you become harsh, frustrated, and ashamed every time you realize there are still tender places inside you. My child, stop speaking to yourself like an enemy during the very process where your heart needs compassion most. I know part of you wants immediate peace because you are tired of carrying emotional weight. You want clarity to arrive overnight. You want the sadness, fear, and exhaustion to disappear instantly like fog burned away by sunlight. But deep healing often moves quietly beneath the surface long before visible transformation appears. Think about roots growing underground before a tree ever rises above the soil. In the same way, restoration inside your heart is happening in layers, slowly strengthening parts of you that were weakened by pain, disappointment, and emotional survival. Do not rush yourself through the process just because the world celebrates quick results. Some of the most meaningful healing cannot be measured by visible timelines. Sometimes growth looks like responding more gently than before. Sometimes it looks like surviving a difficult week without completely collapsing emotionally. Sometimes it looks like finally recognizing unhealthy patterns that once controlled your life without question. Those changes matter. Do not overlook them simply because perfection has not arrived yet. I need you now to become more patient with your own heart. Stop expecting yourself to heal flawlessly. Stop becoming discouraged every time you experience a difficult day emotionally. Sit with me instead of attacking yourself. Breathe deeply and recognize how far you have already come, even if the journey still feels unfinished. Your healing is not failing because you still feel pain sometimes. Healing often moves like the slow unfolding of dawn across the horizon, gentle and gradual, until one day you suddenly realize the darkness no longer controls the entire sky. Stay committed to the process, my child. Do not give up on yourself halfway through your own restoration. My child, I need you to stop searching for your identity inside the opinions of other people. You have spent too much of your life allowing the reactions, approval, and judgments of others to shape the way you see yourself. When people praise you, you felt valuable for a moment. When they criticized you, ignored you, or misunderstood you, your confidence began collapsing like a house built on weak sand. That pattern has left your heart emotionally exhausted because human approval changes constantly. One moment people celebrate you, and the next moment they pull away, grow silent, or fail to understand the deeper parts of your spirit. If your identity keeps depending on unstable voices, your peace will always feel fragile. Come closer and listen carefully now. I never designed your worth to be determined by shifting human opinions. Yet many of your emotional struggles began because you kept handing other people the power to define who you are. Some voices from your past wounded you deeply. Careless words planted insecurity inside your spirit like weeds growing quietly through a garden. Over time, you started believing those voices more than mine. You began questioning your beauty, your intelligence, your purpose, your calling, and even your ability to be loved fully. My child, stop allowing temporary opinions to write eternal truth about your life. I know why approval became so important to you. Human hearts long to feel seen, valued, and accepted. There is nothing wrong with that desire. But when acceptance becomes an obsession, people slowly lose themselves trying to become whatever others expect. I see how often you overthink your words after conversations. I see how deeply criticism affects you, even when you pretend it does not matter. I see how quickly rejection causes you to doubt yourself completely. You become trapped in emotional chains every time someone's opinion shifts your sense of worth. That is not freedom, my child. That is emotional captivity disguised as people-pleasing. I need you now to come back to the truth about who you are. Sit with me and let my voice become louder than the voices that damaged your confidence. You are not worthless because someone failed to appreciate you. You are not unlovable because certain people walk away. You are not inadequate because others misunderstood your journey. Stop building your identity around human reactions that change like weather moving across the sky. Build it upon truth instead. Stand up and stop apologizing for your existence. Stop shrinking yourself every time someone disapproves of your growth, your healing, or your boundaries. You cannot spend your entire life chasing validation from people who are still struggling to understand themselves. Let your heart rest from that exhausting cycle. Invite me into the insecurity you keep hiding behind forced confidence. Let me teach you how to stand firmly in your worth even when other voices become loud around you. Peace begins growing inside you when your identity stops depending on approval that was never stable enough to hold your soul together in the first place. My child, I need you to stop treating rest like a reward you must earn after completely exhausting yourself. You have pushed your mind, your body, and your spirit beyond healthy limits for so long that exhaustion now feels normal to you. Even when your heart feels drained, you keep forcing yourself forward because part of you fears slowing down. You worry that rest means laziness, weakness, or falling behind. So you continue carrying heavy responsibilities while quietly ignoring the signals your soul has been sending you for a long time now. But listen carefully to me. Constant exhaustion is not proof of strength. Sometimes it is a warning that your inner world desperately needs care. Come sit with me for a moment and let your shoulders relax. Breathe slowly instead of rushing toward the next task waiting for your attention. I see how tired you really are beneath the surface. Your body continues moving, but your spirit feels worn thin like fabric stretched too tightly for too long. You wake up already overwhelmed some mornings. Your mind races constantly. Joy feels harder to access than it used to. Even small things sometimes irritate or overwhelm you because your soul has been operating from depletion instead of restoration. My child, you were never created to live disconnected from rest. I know why slowing down feels uncomfortable. Somewhere along the way, you learned to measure your worth through productivity. You became convinced that being constantly needed made you valuable. So now, whenever you pause, guilt immediately whispers that you should be doing more. But hear me clearly now. Your value does not increase because you destroy yourself trying to prove your usefulness. Rest is not weakness. Rest is wisdom. Even the earth itself moves through seasons of work and restoration. Nature understands rhythms you keep resisting inside your own life. I need you now to stop neglecting your emotional and physical limits. Pay attention to your exhaustion instead of constantly overriding it. Create space for restoration before burnout completely consumes your peace. Turn off the noise sometimes. Step away from endless responsibilities for a while. Sit outside and breathe fresh air. Sleep properly. Laugh again without guilt. Let your nervous system settle instead of living every day in survival mode like a machine running without pause. Invite me into your rest, my child. Stop believing that you must earn permission to slow down. You are not failing because you need restoration. In fact, some of your clearest thoughts, deepest healing, and strongest moments will grow during seasons where you finally allow yourself to rest properly. A field cannot produce healthy harvests forever without seasons of renewal. In the same way, your heart cannot flourish while constantly running on emptiness. Protect your peace. Care for your soul. Let yourself rest before exhaustion steals more from your life than you realize. My child, I need you to stop carrying hidden anger as though it is protecting your heart. I know there are wounds inside you that still burn when certain memories return. Some people hurt you deeply and then moved on as if nothing happened. Some apologies never came. Some betrayals changed the way you look at trust itself. You try to bury the pain beneath silence, but unresolved anger has a way of lingering quietly beneath the surface like fire hidden under ashes. Even when you are smiling outwardly, your spirit still feels the tension of everything you never fully released. That weight has been exhausting you more than you realize. Come closer and let yourself be honest with me now. You do not have to pretend those experiences did not affect you. They did affect you. Certain words cut deeply. Certain actions left scars across your heart. I saw the nights where you replayed those moments over and over in your mind, trying to understand why people treated you carelessly when your intentions were sincere. I know how difficult it became for you to trust after disappointment repeated itself through different phases in different seasons. But listen carefully now. Holding on to anger will not heal the wound underneath it. It only keeps the pain alive inside your spirit. I need you to stop feeding bitterness in private while asking for peace in public. Those two things cannot live together for long. Bitterness slowly darkens the heart carrying it. It steals joy from ordinary moments. It turns your thoughts heavy. It causes your spirit to stay emotionally connected to painful experiences long after those moments have already passed. My child, I do not want your future controlled by unresolved hurt from your past. You deserve freedom deeper than that. Forgiveness does not mean pretending the pain was acceptable. It does not mean allowing unhealthy people unlimited access to your life again. Forgiveness means refusing to let hatred keep poisoning your own heart. Come sit with me and release those heavy emotions honestly. Speak about the pain instead of hiding it. Cry if you need to cry. Let your anger surface without shame, but do not build a permanent home there. Invite me into the wounded places where resentment still lives quietly inside you. I know letting go feels difficult because part of you fears that releasing anger means the injustice somehow wins. But my child, your healing matters more than revenge ever will. Do not sacrifice your peace just to continue carrying bitterness that slowly drains your spirit. Open your hands and let the weight begin falling away little by little. Pray for strength to release what your heart keeps gripping tightly. Choose freedom even if forgiveness feels slow and uncomfortable at first. The peace waiting on the other side of release is worth far more than the emotional prison resentment has kept you inside for too long. My child, as I teach your heart to release bitterness and walk into freedom, I am also calling you to become part of the healing of others who are still trapped in silent pain. There are souls listening right now whose hearts are burning beneath hidden wounds, and through this message, I am reaching for them like light breaking through darkness. Every seed you sow into this mission becomes oil for the lamp that keeps my word flowing across weary hearts and exhausted spirits. Did I not say, "Give, and it shall be given unto you"? Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I am speaking that promise over those who respond with obedience today. If this message has strengthened your spirit, then do not ignore the stirring inside you to help carry this fire further. Support this work now through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through PayPal using the link in the video description, because your giving is helping broken hearts encounter my presence. Do not delay the assignment I am placing before you. Act now and become part of the healing harvest I am raising in this hour. My child, I need you to stop believing that your purpose must always arrive through dramatic moments before it becomes meaningful. You keep waiting for one huge sign, one extraordinary breakthrough, one perfect opportunity that suddenly explains everything clearly. Meanwhile, you overlook the quiet ways purpose has already been trying to grow inside your ordinary life. Listen carefully to me now. Most meaningful callings do not begin with loud announcements. They begin through small moments of obedience, compassion, honesty, and faithfulness that slowly shape a life over time. Come sit with me for a moment and pay attention to what keeps pulling at your heart consistently. There are things you care about deeply for a reason. There are dreams, ideas, burdens, and desires inside you that refuse to completely disappear no matter how often fear tries to silence them. Yet you keep dismissing those things because they seem too small, too unrealistic, or too far away from where you currently stand. My child, stop underestimating what I placed inside you simply because it does not look impressive to the world yet. I know part of you fears wasting your life. That fear sometimes becomes so loud that it paralyzes you completely. You overthink every step because you are terrified of choosing the wrong direction. But while you remain frozen searching for absolute certainty, life keeps moving forward around you. Purpose is rarely discovered through endless overthinking alone. More often, it becomes clearer while you are walking faithfully through the opportunities already placed in front of you. Start where you are. Use what you already have. Speak kindly. Serve faithfully. Learn consistently. Trust me enough to take small steps instead of demanding the entire path before moving. Stop comparing your calling to someone else's visible success. Some people are assigned loud platforms while others quietly transform lives through daily faithfulness nobody applauds publicly. Both matter deeply to me. Do not overlook simple acts of obedience while chasing dramatic recognition. The world often celebrates visibility, but heaven notices faithfulness. Pay attention to how your spirit comes alive when you encourage others, create something meaningful, help someone hurting, or bring peace into difficult situations. Those moments reveal more about your purpose than you realize. I need you now to stop treating your life like it is meaningless simply because everything has not fully unfolded yet. Your purpose is not missing. It is developing. Seeds grow beneath the ground before anyone sees visible fruit rising toward the sky. In the same way, many important things inside your life are growing quietly right now even if you cannot fully see the outcome yet. Invite me into your uncertainty. Stop waiting for perfection before beginning. Take the next faithful step with me and trust that clarity often increases while you are moving, not while you remain frozen in fear. My child, I need you to stop assuming that because something feels difficult, it must mean you are failing. You have allowed struggle to convince you that you are moving in the wrong direction too quickly. The moment resistance appears, your mind immediately fills with doubt. You begin questioning yourself, questioning your progress, questioning whether you are even capable of becoming the person your heart longs to become. But listen carefully to me now. Difficulty is not always a sign that you should turn back. Sometimes it is evidence that growth is actually happening beneath the surface in ways you cannot fully see yet. Come closer and let your heart slow down for a moment. Think about how muscles grow stronger through resistance. Think about how storms deepen the roots of trees. In the same way, some of the strongest parts of your character are being formed through the very seasons you keep trying to escape. I know you are tired. I know there are moments where continuing forward feels emotionally exhausting. Some days you feel like progress is invisible no matter how hard you try. But do not allow temporary frustration to erase the quiet transformation already taking place inside you. I need you to stop measuring your growth only by visible results. Human hearts become discouraged quickly when change does not happen instantly. You want clear proof that your effort matters. You want immediate peace after difficult choices. You want certainty after obedience. But many important things develop slowly. Healing takes time. Wisdom takes time. Discipline takes time. Trust takes time. Do not despise the process simply because it feels slower than your expectations. Seeds hidden underground are not dead because they have not broken through the soil yet. Pay attention to how far you have already come, my child. There were things that once controlled your emotions completely that no longer hold the same power over you. There are situations you now handle with more wisdom than before. There are patterns you are finally recognizing instead of blindly repeating. Those changes matter deeply even if they feel small right now. Stop dismissing your progress simply because perfection has not arrived yet. Growth rarely announces itself loudly while it is happening. Stand up now and stop interpreting every difficult moment as failure. Keep walking through the discomfort instead of retreating every time the road becomes challenging. Invite me into your frustration instead of carrying it alone. Let me strengthen your spirit during the process instead of expecting immediate ease. Some doors require perseverance before they open. Some lessons require patience before they become clear. Do not quit in the middle of your becoming. The pressure you feel today may be shaping the very strength you will depend on tomorrow. Stay close to me and keep moving forward. Your breakthrough is not always as far away as exhaustion keeps trying to convince you it is. My child, I need you to stop carrying guilt for things that were never fully your responsibility to fix. You have spent years blaming yourself for outcomes you could not completely control. When relationships broke apart, you searched yourself endlessly for what you should have done differently. When people struggled around you, you immediately felt responsible for rescuing them emotionally. You became so accustomed to carrying other people's pain that you forgot where your responsibility ended and theirs began. That confusion has weighed heavily upon your spirit for a long time now. Come sit with me honestly and let your heart rest from that burden. You are not responsible for healing every wounded person who enters your life. You are not responsible for forcing people to choose wisdom, honesty, or change when they refuse it themselves. I know your heart cares deeply. I know you often try to love people through their brokenness because you see the good hidden beneath their pain. But my child, compassion should never become self-destruction. You cannot save people by sacrificing your own peace, health, and emotional stability until nothing remains inside you. I see how guilt controls many of your decisions. You replay situations repeatedly, wondering whether you failed someone by setting boundaries, walking away, or protecting your own heart. You feel guilty when you choose rest. Guilty when you say no. Guilty when you cannot meet everyone's expectations perfectly. That constant guilt has exhausted your spirit because you keep trying to carry emotional responsibilities that were never fully yours in the first place. Listen carefully now. Loving people does not mean becoming responsible for every consequence of their choices. I need you now to release the pressure to fix everything around you. Some people will misunderstand your boundaries. Some people may even become upset when you stop overextending yourself for their comfort. But that discomfort does not automatically mean you are doing something wrong. Healthy love includes honesty, wisdom, and limits. Stop allowing guilt to manipulate you into remaining in emotionally unhealthy situations that keep draining your peace. Take a deep breath now and loosen your grip on burdens that do not belong to you. Wait for people. Love people. Support people where you genuinely can. But stop trying to carry entire lives upon your own shoulders as though you were meant to hold everything together alone. Invite me into the guilt that keeps weighing down your heart. Let me teach you the difference between compassion and unhealthy emotional responsibility. Your peace matters too, my child. Your healing matters too. And you are allowed to care for your own soul without constantly apologizing for it. My child, I need you to stop believing that because nobody fully sees your struggles, they somehow matter less. You have carried silent battles for so long that part of you has learned to minimize your own pain. You tell yourself other people have it worse. You convince yourself to stay quiet because you do not want to burden anyone. Meanwhile, your heart continues absorbing pressure, disappointment, loneliness, and emotional fatigue without proper release. I see the weight you carry behind your smile. I see how often you hold yourself together outwardly while inwardly feeling close to breaking. Do not ignore that pain simply because it remains invisible to others. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and stop pretending your heart is unaffected by everything you have endured. Human beings were never created to carry endless emotional pressure without rest, comfort, and care. Yet you keep moving through life as though your wounds should not matter unless someone else acknowledges them first. My child, I acknowledge them. I see the nights where your thoughts became heavy after everyone else had gone quiet. I see the moments where discouragement settled deeply inside you while you still tried to appear strong for the people around you. I see the emotional exhaustion you struggled to explain because the wounds are internal instead of visible. I need you now to stop dismissing your own need for healing. Pain ignored does not disappear. It simply settles deeper into the heart over time. That is why certain emotions rise unexpectedly inside you. That is why exhaustion sometimes overwhelms you without warning. There are burdens inside your spirit asking for attention, care, and honesty. You cannot continue surviving emotionally while neglecting your inner world completely. Sit with your emotions instead of running from them. Speak honestly about what hurts. Let yourself acknowledge where your heart feels worn thin. I know vulnerability scares you because you fear appearing weak. You became so accustomed to handling everything privately that opening your heart now feels uncomfortable. But isolation had been deepening your exhaustion. You were never meant to suffer silently while pretending everything was fine. Invite me into the hidden places you keep protecting from everyone else. Let me comfort the parts of you that feel unseen, unheard, and emotionally tired. Stop waiting for visible breakdown before taking your pain seriously. Care for your soul now instead of only responding once exhaustion completely overwhelms you. Rest emotionally. Speak honestly. Take peace intentionally. Let yourself receive support instead of constantly becoming the one who supports everyone else. Your pain matters, my child. Your healing matters too. Do not keep carrying invisible wounds as though they are insignificant simply because the world cannot physically see them. I see them clearly, and I want to help you heal instead of merely survive. My child, I told you that your hidden pain matters to me, and now I am calling those whose hearts are being touched to help bring comfort to even more unseen souls across the earth. There are people listening in silence tonight who feel emotionally exhausted, abandoned, and close to giving up, yet this message is becoming manna for their weary spirits. Every act of generosity poured into this ministry becomes a river flowing into dry places where hope nearly disappeared. Have I not declared that those who water others will themselves be watered abundantly? I am breathing life upon every person who chooses to give with a willing heart today. If you feel my presence moving inside you through these words, then recognize this moment as more than emotion. It is an invitation to participate in my work. Sow your support through Super Thanks, join as a member, or give through PayPal using the link in the video description, and watch how I multiply peace, provision, and favor back into your life. Move now, my child, because your obedience today is helping carry my voice to hearts crying out for hope. My child, I need you to stop allowing fear of failure to control decisions that could change your life. I know how many opportunities you have delayed because your mind immediately imagined everything that could go wrong. Before you even begin, fear starts building worst-case scenarios inside your thoughts. You picture rejection. You picture embarrassment. You picture disappointment waiting at the end of every risk. Then you step back, convince yourself the timing is not right, and remain standing exactly where you were before. My child, that fear has stolen enough time from your life already. Come closer and listen carefully now. You were never meant to build your future around avoiding discomfort at all costs. Fear always promises safety, but many times it quietly traps people inside stagnant lives that slowly drain their spirit. I see the dreams you keep postponing. I see the conversations you avoid. I see the opportunities your heart keeps returning to while your fear keeps talking you out of trying. Deep inside, you already know there are things you are meant to pursue, but the possibility of failure keeps freezing your movement before you even take the first step. I understand why failure scares you so deeply. Certain disappointments from your past wounded your confidence. There were moments where you gave your best and still watched things collapse painfully in front of you. Experiences like that leave emotional scars. They make risk feel dangerous instead of exciting. But listen to me carefully now. One painful outcome does not define your entire future. Stop treating old disappointments like permanent prophecies hanging over every new opportunity. Your past experiences may have shaped you, but they were never meant to imprison you. I need you now to stop demanding guaranteed success before taking action. Growth requires movement even when outcomes remain uncertain. Courage does not appear after fear disappears completely. Courage grows when you choose to move despite fear standing nearby. Apply for the opportunity. Start the project. Speak the truth you keep swallowing. Take the step your heart keeps returning to during quiet moments. Even if the outcome unfolds differently than expected, you will still grow stronger through obedience and experience. Do not let fear convince you that staying still is safer than trying. Remaining trapped inside regret becomes its own kind of pain over time. There is a deep sadness that grows inside people who constantly abandon their own calling because fear whispered louder than faith. I do not want that for you, my child. Invite me into the uncertainty instead of waiting for total certainty before moving forward. Trust me enough to take the next step. Your life was never meant to be ruled by fear pretending to protect you from failure while secretly keeping you from becoming who you were created to be. My child, I need you to stop believing that you must have everything figured out before you begin walking forward again. You have spent so much time standing still because uncertainty makes you uncomfortable. You want clear answers before taking steps. You want guarantees before trusting the path ahead. But life does not unfold that way, and deep down you already know it. Some of the most important moments of growth in your life will happen while you are still learning, still uncertain, and still carrying questions you cannot fully answer yet. Stop treating uncertainty like proof that you are lost. Come sit with me quietly for a moment and let your heart loosen its grip on control. I see how hard you try to predict every outcome before making decisions. Your mind races through possibilities endlessly, trying to protect you from disappointment, pain, or failure. But all that constant overthinking has left your spirit exhausted. You replay conversations before they even happen. You imagine future problems before today has fully unfolded. You carry pressure that was never meant to rest on your shoulders alone. My child, you cannot think your way into complete certainty about every step ahead. I understand why uncertainty feels frightening to you. There were moments in your past where unexpected pain arrived suddenly and changed your life in ways you never prepared for. After experiences like that, your heart naturally became cautious. You learned to stay emotionally alert because you feared being caught off guard again. But constantly living in defense mode is slowly draining your peace. Fear keeps convincing you that control equals safety, But control is not the same thing as trust. Sometimes trust means taking one faithful step without seeing the entire road ahead. I need you now to stop delaying your life while waiting for every answer to appear first. Begin where you are. Move with the wisdom you already have today. Take the next honest step instead of remaining frozen by endless what-if thoughts. You do not need to solve your entire future before tomorrow arrives. Some clarity only comes while you are walking forward. Some doors only open after movement begins. Stop demanding certainty before obedience, because that expectation will keep you standing still far longer than necessary. Breathe deeply now and release the pressure to know everything immediately. Invite me into the unknown places instead of panicking every time life feels uncertain. Let me guide your steps gradually instead of demanding instant understanding for every detail ahead. You are not failing because you still have questions. You are human. Faith grows strongest when people continue walking even while parts of the path remain hidden. Trust me enough to move forward anyway. Your future does not require perfect certainty to begin unfolding beautifully. It only requires willingness to keep taking honest steps with me beside you. My child, I need you to stop carrying the weight of loneliness in silence as though nobody would understand your heart if you spoke honestly. I know there are moments where you feel emotionally separated from the people around you even while standing in crowded rooms. You smile, you talk, you continue fulfilling responsibilities, yet part of your spirit still feels unseen. There are thoughts you keep hidden because you fear being misunderstood. There are struggles you carry privately because you became so accustomed to handling everything alone. Over time, that isolation has wrapped itself around your heart quietly, making connection feel more difficult than it used to. Come closer and let yourself admit what you have been feeling. Loneliness does not always come from physical isolation. Sometimes it grows when your heart feels disconnected, unheard, or emotionally unsupported for too long. I see how often you long for deeper understanding but hesitate to open yourself fully because past experiences made vulnerability feel unsafe. Maybe people dismissed your emotions before. Maybe they misunderstood your pain or responded carelessly when you finally gathered the courage to speak honestly. Experiences like that leave wounds that make future connection feel risky. But my child, do not let painful experiences convince you that you must carry life alone forever. Isolation slowly weakens the spirit. Human hearts were created for meaningful connection, encouragement, and support. Yet you keep convincing yourself that staying emotionally guarded protects you from disappointment. In reality, it is also preventing the comfort, healing, and understanding your soul deeply needs. Stop hiding behind the belief that nobody cares. Stop assuming your struggles would only burden others if you shared them honestly. I need you now to open your heart carefully instead of shutting the entire world out completely. Speak to someone trustworthy. Let people in little by little instead of carrying everything privately until your spirit feels overwhelmed. Reach out instead of withdrawing every time pain surfaces. You do not need to perform strength constantly. You are allowed to need comfort too. You are allowed to ask for prayer, support, encouragement, and understanding. There is no shame in that. Most importantly, invite me into the loneliness you keep trying to survive quietly. Sit with me during the moments where emptiness feels heavy. Talk to me honestly instead of only offering polished prayers you think sound strong enough. I already see your heart clearly. Let yourself be fully known without fear. Even in seasons where human connection feels complicated, you are not abandoned. I have not stepped away from you. Stay close to me and keep your heart open instead of retreating permanently behind emotional walls. Healing often begins the moment people stop suffering in silence and finally allow love to reach the places pain tried to isolate. My child, I need you to stop allowing your past seasons of survival to become permanent ways of living. There were times when you had no choice but to endure difficult circumstances quietly. You learned how to stay emotionally alert because life felt unpredictable. You became strong in ways that helped you survive pain, disappointment, uncertainty, and emotional exhaustion. But listen carefully to me now. Survival mode was never meant to become your permanent home. Yet even now, long after certain storms have passed, your spirit still struggles to relax. Your heart remains tense as though danger is always waiting nearby. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and pay attention to how exhausted your inner world has become. You have spent so much time bracing yourself for problems that peace now feels unfamiliar. Even during calm moments, your mind keeps searching for what could go wrong next. You overthink conversations. You anticipate rejection before it happens. You struggle to fully rest because part of you still believes you must always stay prepared for emotional impact. My child, your nervous system has been carrying burdens for far too long without enough restoration. I know why you became this way. There were seasons where trusting too easily led to pain. There were moments where life shifted suddenly and left you emotionally shaken. Those experiences taught your heart to stay guarded. But now those same protective habits are keeping you from fully living. You are surviving each day instead of experiencing the deeper peace your soul truly needs. There is a difference between wisdom and constant emotional defense. Wisdom protects your heart wisely. Fear keeps your heart imprisoned behind invisible walls. I need you now to stop expecting disaster every time something good begins unfolding in your life. Stop assuming peace must always be temporary. Stop preparing your heart for heartbreak before joy even has a chance to settle inside you. Come closer to me and let your spirit learn safety again. Let yourself breathe deeply without guilt. Rest without feeling lazy. Laugh without waiting for something painful to interrupt the moment. Healing includes teaching your heart that it no longer needs to remain trapped in constant survival mode. Invite me into the fear beneath your overthinking. Let me calm the places inside you that still feel emotionally unsafe. Your future does not need to be controlled by habits your pain created years ago. You are allowed to live differently now. You are allowed to experience peace without suspicion. You are allowed to trust that not every season will hurt the way previous seasons did. Stay close to me while your heart slowly learns how to rest again instead of constantly preparing for storms that have not even arrived. There is more waiting for you than survival, my child. There is healing, joy, peace, and life beyond the exhaustion you have carried for far too long. My child, I am not only leading you out of survival mode, I am raising you to become part of the rescue for others still trapped in fear, exhaustion, and emotional darkness. There are hearts listening to this message right now that have forgotten what peace even feels like, and I am using this ministry as a shelter in the middle of their storm. Every gift sown into this work becomes like fresh oil poured into lamps that continue shining through the night for souls desperate for comfort and truth. Remember when I said that those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy? That word is alive over every faithful giver hearing me now. Do not treat this moment casually, because what you release today will help carry my healing voice farther than you can currently see. Support this mission through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through PayPal using the link in the video description, and let your seed become part of the harvest of restored lives. Step forward now, my child, and help me reach those who are still silently fighting battles nobody else can see. My child, I need you to stop speaking so harshly to yourself every time you fall short of your own expectations. I hear the way you criticize yourself after mistakes. I see how quickly frustration turns inward whenever you struggle, fail, or feel emotionally weak. Sometimes the cruelest voice you hear all day is the one inside your own mind. You replay your flaws repeatedly while overlooking your progress completely. You focus on what you have not accomplished yet instead of recognizing how much you have already survived and overcome. My child, your heart cannot flourish in an environment where it is constantly attacked by its own thoughts. Come closer and sit with me honestly for a moment. You have carried impossible expectations for yourself for a long time now. You expect yourself to heal quickly, perform perfectly, respond wisely in every situation, and remain emotionally strong no matter what life throws at you. Then, whenever your humanity shows, disappointment crashes over your spirit like heavy waves. But listen carefully now. I never asked you to become perfect before deserving compassion. You are learning. You are growing. You are still becoming. That process includes difficult moments, imperfect decisions, and seasons where your heart feels tired. I know part of your hardness comes from fear. You believe criticizing yourself constantly will somehow force you to improve faster or protect you from future failure. But shame does not produce healthy growth. It only deepens emotional exhaustion. There is a difference between honest reflection and self-condemnation. Reflection leads to wisdom. Condemnation keeps your spirit trapped in discouragement. I need you to recognize the difference now. Pay attention to how you would speak to someone you deeply love during their weakest moments. You would offer patience. You would offer understanding. You would remind them that one difficult season does not erase their worth completely. Yet when it comes to yourself, you often offer no grace at all. My child, stop treating yourself like someone unworthy of kindness. Stop punishing yourself emotionally every time you stumble. Your mistakes may teach you important lessons, but they should never become permanent chains wrapped around your identity. Take a deep breath now and let your heart soften toward itself. Speak with honesty, yes, but also with compassion. Correct yourself without destroying yourself in the process. Invite me into the wounded places where insecurity keeps producing harsh self-judgment. Let me teach you how to grow without hatred toward your own soul. Real transformation does not flourish through constant self-rejection. It grows through truth, patience, humility, and love working together over time. You are still learning, my child. Do not abandon yourself during the very process where your heart needs mercy most. My child, I need you to stop pretending that the things hurting your spirit are not affecting you anymore. You have become very skilled at pushing pain aside just to keep functioning. You continue showing up for responsibilities, continuing conversations, continuing routines, while quietly carrying emotional wounds that still bleed beneath the surface. Some days you convince yourself you are fine simply because you made it through another day. But surviving is not the same thing as healing. Deep inside, your heart still feels the weight of things you never fully processed, and that hidden burden has been shaping your emotions more than you realize. Come closer and let your guard down for a moment. I see how often you suppress your feelings because you fear becoming overwhelmed if you allow yourself to truly face them. There are memories you avoid revisiting because they still hurt. There are disappointments you buried beneath busyness because sitting with them felt too heavy. You learned how to distract yourself whenever emotional pain started surfacing. But my child, hidden wounds do not disappear simply because you stop looking at them. They quietly influence the way you think, the way you trust, the way you love, and even the way you see yourself. I need you now to stop treating your heart like a machine that should endlessly endure pressure without care. You are not weak because certain experiences still affect you emotionally. Pain leaves marks. Betrayal leaves marks. Rejection leaves marks. Loss leaves marks. Pretending those things did not impact your spirit only delays the healing your soul desperately needs. Sit with me honestly instead of immediately escaping into distractions every time uncomfortable emotions rise. Let yourself acknowledge where you still feel wounded, disappointed, angry, or afraid. I know vulnerability feels risky because there were moments where people mishandled your honesty before. But keeping everything locked inside has only deepened your exhaustion. Your heart needs truth, not endless suppression. Stop saying "I'm okay" automatically when your spirit feels worn thin. Speak honestly with me. Cry if you need to cry. Rest if you need to rest. Release the pressure to constantly appear strong while silently breaking underneath the surface. Invite me into the hidden places you keep protecting from everyone else. Let me bring light into the corners of your heart where pain has quietly been living for far too long. You do not need to carry everything privately forever. Healing begins when honesty enters the room. Stop numbing your emotions and start listening to what your soul has been trying to tell you. Your pain deserves care, not denial. Your heart deserves healing, not constant suppression. Let yourself finally begin facing what you have spent so long trying to outrun. My child, I need you to stop waiting for someone else to rescue you from the changes you already know you need to make. Deep inside, you already recognize many of the areas where your life needs honesty, discipline, healing, and movement. Yet part of you keeps hoping circumstances will somehow shift on their own without requiring difficult decisions from you. You wait for motivation to suddenly appear. You wait for fear to disappear completely. You wait for perfect timing while life quietly keeps moving forward around you. But listen carefully now. Your future cannot fully open while you continue delaying the responsibilities your soul already recognizes. Come sit with me honestly for a moment and stop running from this truth. There are patterns in your life that will not change unless you decide to confront them directly. Some habits continue draining your peace because you keep feeding them. Some environments continue exhausting your spirit because you refuse to step away from them. Some fears continue controlling your future because you keep obeying them every time they speak loudly inside your mind. My child, healing requires participation. Growth requires movement. Freedom requires honesty. I know taking responsibility feels intimidating because change often demands discomfort first. Human hearts naturally resist difficult transitions. Part of you still wishes healing could happen without painful conversations, difficult boundaries, honest self-reflection, or consistent effort. But avoiding responsibility only deepens frustration over time. Every day you postpone necessary change, your spirit feels the tension more deeply. That quiet heaviness you carry is not confusion. It is your soul recognizing that you can no longer remain where you are without sacrificing your peace further. I need you now to stop waiting for another person to save you from choices only you can make. Nobody else can heal your mind for you while you continue feeding destructive thoughts daily. Nobody else can restore your peace while you constantly ignore the boundaries your heart desperately needs. Nobody else can walk your healing journey in your place. Support matters deeply, but eventually you must decide that your own well-being is worth fighting for too. Stand up now and take ownership of your life again. Make the call you keep avoiding. Begin the habit you keep postponing. Step away from the environment draining your spirit. Speak honestly instead of hiding behind excuses that no longer satisfy your heart. You do not need to transform everything overnight, but you do need to stop waiting passively while hoping change will magically arrive without effort. Invite me into the process and walk forward with courage instead of delay. Your future is shaped by the decisions you continue making every day. Choose differently now, my child. Your life is waiting for the version of you that finally stops avoiding the work healing requires. My child, I need you to stop believing that you have already missed too much time for your life to still become meaningful. I know there are moments when regret settles heavily upon your heart. You look backward and see years that feel wasted, opportunities you did not take, decisions you wish you could undo, and seasons where fear, pain, or confusion kept you standing still while life moved forward around you. Sometimes you quietly wonder whether it is simply too late now. You compare your timeline to others and feel ashamed that certain parts of your life still seem unfinished. But listen carefully to me now. Your story is not ruined because parts of it unfolded slowly. Come sit with me honestly and release the shame you keep carrying about your timing. Human beings often measure life through deadlines, achievements, and comparison, but I see something much deeper than that. I see the lessons your difficult seasons taught you. I see the wisdom born through pain you never wanted to experience. I see the strength quietly growing inside you through battles that nobody else fully understood. Those years were not empty simply because they felt difficult. Even seasons of confusion can prepare hearts for future clarity in ways people only understand later. I know you feel frustrated sometimes because you imagine where your life could have been by now if fear had not delayed you. You replay old choices repeatedly in your mind and wonder how different everything might look today. But my child, do not become so trapped in regret that you miss the opportunities still standing in front of you now. The enemy wants you staring backward constantly because people who remain consumed by regret struggle to move forward with courage. That is why I need you to stop treating your past like a prison sentence hanging permanently over your future. Lift your eyes and pay attention to the life still unfolding around you. You are still breathing. You are still growing. You are still learning. There are still meaningful relationships waiting for you. There are still dreams capable of awakening inside your spirit again. There are still doors that can open, healing that can happen, peace that can grow, and purpose that can emerge from places you once thought were ruined beyond repair. Stop speaking as though your best days can only exist behind you. That is not truth. I need you now to release the belief that you are too late to begin again. Start where you are today instead of mourning who you could have been yesterday. Bring your regrets to me honestly and let me transform them into wisdom instead of chains. Do not waste the present moment grieving the past so deeply that you never fully step into your future. There is still time for growth. There is still time for healing. There is still time for joy to return to your heart in ways you cannot fully imagine yet. Your story is still being written, my child. Do not walk away from it before the beautiful parts have a chance to unfold. My child, as I remind you that your story is not over, I am also calling you to help awaken hope inside others who believe their lives are too broken, too delayed, or too far gone to redeem. There are people hearing this message whose hearts have nearly surrendered to regret. Yet my word is breathing life back into dreams they thought were buried forever. Every offering released into this mission becomes seed planted into fields ready for harvest, where discouraged souls are beginning to rise again. Did I not promise that I restore the years the locusts have eaten? I am still fulfilling that promise through every vessel willing to help spread my voice in this generation. If these words have reignited hope inside you, then do not ignore the prompting to help carry this message to someone else standing at the edge of despair tonight. Give through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through PayPal using the link in the video description, and I will honor the generosity flowing from your heart. Act now, because heaven is calling for willing hands to help release restoration across weary lives. My child, I need you to stop resisting the quiet moments where your soul is trying to reconnect with me. You have allowed so much noise into your life that your spirit rarely gets room to breathe deeply anymore. Your mind stays crowded with responsibilities, distractions, opinions, worries, endless information, and constant stimulation. Even during moments meant for rest, your thoughts keep running without pause. Then you wonder why clarity feels distant and peace feels fragile. But listen carefully now. A heart constantly filled with noise struggles to hear the gentle direction I keep trying to place before it. Come closer and sit with me in stillness for a while. Put down the distractions that keep pulling your attention in every direction. You do not need more noise right now. You need quiet, honest connection. I see how uncomfortable silence has become for you because silence often reveals emotions you have been avoiding. The moment life becomes still, your deeper thoughts begin rising to the surface. Fears appear. Questions surface. Loneliness becomes noticeable. So you immediately reach for distraction again because facing your inner world feels overwhelming. But my child, healing often begins in the quiet places you keep trying to escape. I need you now to stop treating stillness like an enemy. Some of the clearest moments of direction, peace, and restoration will come while your heart is finally quiet enough to listen deeply again. You cannot hear gentle whispers while surrounding yourself with constant chaos. Create space for me intentionally. Wake up a little earlier if you need to. Step outside without your phone for a while. Sit quietly without rushing to fill every empty moment with entertainment or endless mental noise. Let your spirit settle slowly instead of constantly forcing it to move faster than it was designed to move. I know slowing down feels unfamiliar because your life became addicted to constant movement. Part of you fears that if you stop long enough, difficult emotions might surface. But avoiding your inner world has not protected your peace. It has only delayed the healing your heart truly needs. Come sit with me honestly instead of running from yourself. Bring me your fears, your confusion, your exhaustion, and your questions. Let our connection become real again instead of rushed and distracted. Pay attention to how your spirit responds when you finally allow quiet moments to exist without immediately escaping them. There is wisdom waiting there. There is comfort waiting there. There is clarity waiting there too. Your soul has been thirsty for stillness far longer than you realize. Stop feeding constant noise while your spirit quietly starves for peace. Come back to the quiet places with me, my child. That is where your heart will begin remembering what true peace actually feels like again. My child, I need you to stop believing that you must carry every season of your life with the same version of yourself that survived the past. You have changed more than you realize, yet part of you still keeps living from old fears, old habits, and old emotional defenses that no longer fit who you are becoming. I see how often your mind returns to survival patterns that once protected you during painful seasons. You still hesitate quickly. You still expect disappointment too easily. You still prepare yourself emotionally for rejection before giving joy a chance to fully enter your life. But listen carefully now. You cannot fully step into your future while remaining emotionally chained to old versions of yourself that were created only to survive difficult moments. Come sit with me honestly and look at how much your spirit has already endured. You are not the same person you were during those painful seasons. You have learned hard lessons. You have gained wisdom through heartbreak, loss, disappointment, and quiet battles nobody else fully saw. Yet instead of recognizing your growth, you keep responding to present moments through fears born from your past. A wounded version of you still keeps trying to protect your heart even when healing is already beginning to unfold around you. My child, protection can become limitation when old fear continues controlling new seasons. I need you now to stop introducing your future to the most frightened version of yourself. Stop assuming every opportunity will end in pain because something hurt you before. Stop expecting every relationship to fail because previous ones disappointed you. Stop treating peace like something temporary that could disappear at any moment. Those thoughts are exhausting your spirit because they force your heart to stay constantly guarded instead of fully alive. Healing requires learning how to live differently, not just surviving differently. I know releasing old defenses feels uncomfortable because those habits once helped you endure difficult seasons. But what protected you during pain may now be preventing deeper healing from reaching your life. Come closer to me and let your spirit soften again. Allow yourself to trust carefully without immediately assuming disaster. Allow yourself to hope again without shame. Allow yourself to believe that your future does not have to repeat every painful chapter from your past. Take a deep breath now and stop clinging so tightly to the identity your pain created years ago. You are growing beyond that version of yourself. Let me lead you into emotional freedom instead of permanent survival mode. You do not need to stay trapped inside old fear forever. Your heart deserves more than constant self-protection. It deserves peace, connection, joy, and the freedom to live fully again. Stay close to me while your spirit learns how to step forward without dragging every old wound behind it. A new season cannot fully bloom while your hands remain tightly wrapped around yesterday's pain. My child, I need you to stop doubting your ability to begin again simply because previous attempts did not unfold the way you hoped. Failure has a way of exhausting the human heart. After enough disappointments, people start becoming afraid to try at all. I see how cautious you have become. Before starting something new, your mind immediately revisits old memories where things collapsed, relationships ended, opportunities disappeared, or hopes were left unfulfilled. Those experiences left scars inside you that still whisper warnings whenever change approaches. But listen carefully to me now. A painful ending does not mean you are incapable of new beginnings. Come sit with me for a moment and release the belief that your past attempts permanently define your future potential. Human growth is rarely clean or perfect. People learn through mistakes, setbacks, uncertainty, and seasons where things do not unfold according to plan. Yet you keep treating every disappointment as proof that you should stop trying altogether. My child, wisdom grows through experience, not avoidance. Some lessons could only be learned through the very struggles you wish had never happened. I know discouragement has settled deeply inside certain areas of your life. There are dreams you stopped speaking about because they began feeling unrealistic after enough setbacks. There are prayers you barely whisper anymore because waiting became emotionally exhausting. Part of you fears hoping again because disappointment hurts more after expectation rises. But keeping your heart permanently closed will not protect your peace. It will only slowly suffocate the life still waiting to grow inside you. I need you now to stand up and stop calling your story finished before I have finished writing it. Begin again even if your confidence feels fragile. Start small if you need to, but start. Open the notebook again. Submit the application again. Pray again. Love again. Trust again carefully. Speak again. Create again. Live again. Do not let previous failures become permanent walls surrounding your future. A closed heart cannot receive the new things waiting to enter your life. Invite me into the fear that keeps whispering you will only be disappointed again. Let me strengthen the parts of your spirit that became tired after carrying repeated setbacks. Your life still contains possibility, my child. Your future still contains purpose. Stop measuring tomorrow only through the lens of what hurt you yesterday. Some doors closed because they were not meant to carry you where your spirit truly needed to go. Trust me enough to begin moving again instead of remaining emotionally frozen beside old disappointments. You are still capable of growth. You are still capable of healing. And you are still capable of building something beautiful from this point forward. My child, I need you to understand that the beginning you have been waiting for will not arrive through another sign, another delay, or another season of standing still. It begins the moment you finally choose to move with me instead of remaining trapped inside fear, exhaustion, and endless hesitation. For so long, You have been standing at the edge of change while convincing yourself you needed more certainty first. You kept hoping clarity would suddenly remove all discomfort before you stepped forward. But look honestly at your heart now. Deep inside, you already know what must begin. You already feel the tension between the life you are living and the life your spirit keeps longing for. Come closer to me now and stop running from this moment. This is not the time to shrink backward into old habits again. This is not the time to keep feeding the fears that have already stolen enough years from your life. I have watched you wrestle with doubt, overthink your future, replay your failures, and carry silent exhaustion through seasons where your spirit desperately needed rest. I have seen the hidden tears, the private battles, the discouragement nobody else fully understood. Through all of it, I never abandoned you. Even during the moments where you felt emotionally lost, I remained beside you quietly, waiting for your heart to become willing to trust me again. I need you now to stop postponing your own healing, your growth, your peace, and your purpose. Stop saying someday while your soul continues growing weary in the present moment. Someday has become a hiding place for fear. Someday has become the excuse that keeps your life suspended between who you are now and who you are capable of becoming. But my child, your future cannot open while you keep refusing to take the first honest step. You do not need to become fearless before beginning. You only need willingness. Bring me your uncertainty. Bring me your fragile faith. Bring me the parts of yourself that still feel tired and afraid. Then move anyway. Stand up now and let this be the moment where something finally shifts inside you. Release the old story that says you are too broken, too late, too weak, or too damaged to begin again. That story is not truth. I am calling you into something deeper than survival. I am calling you into healing, into honesty, into freedom, into peace. But you must stop clinging to the comfort of remaining unchained. Open your hands and let the old fear fall away little by little. Let your spirit breathe again. Let hope rise again. Let movement begin again. Take the step, my child. Make the decision. Start the conversation. Change the habit. Walk away from what keeps draining your soul. Return to the quiet places where your heart can hear my voice clearly again. Trust me enough to move forward even while parts of the road still remain uncertain. I did not bring you this far just to leave you trapped inside the same emotional prison forever. The beginning is here now. Do not turn away from it this time. My child, the beginning I spoke about is not only for your life, it is also for the countless souls I am preparing to reach through your obedience right now. This is a divine moment, not an accident, because my spirit is moving across hearts that are desperate for healing, freedom, and direction before it is too late. Every seed given into this mission becomes fire on the altar, keeping my word spreading to people standing in darkness searching for one reason not to give up. Did I not say that whoever sows generously will also reap generously? I am watching those who respond quickly when I place an assignment before them. If this message has awakened something inside your spirit, then do not return to hesitation again. Support this work now through Super Thanks, become a member, or give through PayPal using the link in the video description, and let your obedience help carry my voice into homes, hearts, and lives across the nations. Rise up and act now, my child, because the beginning has already arrived. Before you leave this message, I want you to do something bold. Do not stay silent while your spirit knows this is your moment to begin again. In the comments, declare, I will act now. My new beginning starts today. Let those words become more than a comment. Let them become your decision. This is not the season to keep delaying your healing, your obedience, your peace, or the life I have been calling you toward. Your beginning is no longer waiting somewhere in the future, my child. It begins the moment you finally say yes. Amen.